All right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Savate. This is going to be another Credit Man recommendation. I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was all right. It's about the same as Nemesis in terms of quality or any other Olivier Gruner movie for that matter. This is going to be another FM entertainment flick. Savate, the true story of the world's first kickboxer, starring Olivier Gruner, James Brolin, Michael Palance. He sought revenge with ferocious speed and brutal accuracy. That's the movie poster. Savate, also known as The Fighter, is a 1995 martial arts Western film directed by Isaac Florentine and starring Olivier Gruner, promoted as the allegedly true story of the world's first kickboxer. The year is 1865. Joseph Charlegrand is a former French soldier whose best friend and comrade was murdered by an officer of the French Foreign Legion in Mexico. Looking for the murderer, Charlegrand is heading for a martial arts tournament in the United States because the murderer takes his pride in being a skilled fighter. On the way from Mexico to Texas, some U.S. rogues take him for a Yankee, and they ambush him. He can fight them off, but he loses his horse. On foot, he runs out of water, and eventually he breaks down. 2 young farmers, played by the very hot Ashley Laurence, who doesn't get naked, by the way, and Ian Ziering as Mary and Kane Peters, save his life. But Olivier Gruner is playing adultery with his eyes when the farmers go. And how could you blame him? Because Ashley Laurence is flashing her boobies, her cleavage, I mean. Teasing us without any actual nipple action. When the farmers go to town for purchases, they are molested and eventually seriously attacked by the roustabouts of a local businessman, greedy white male swine of a capitalist pig who wants to build a railroad through town, played by the great Ermey. Watching him get shot was the highlight of the movie. Who wants their land very badly. He wants to take all the homesteaders' land. The film's protagonist returns the farmer's favor by applying his savate, yet it is obvious they need further support. Consequently, he stays with them, and he even instructs Kane how to fight so that he might win the martial arts tournament and hereby earn the money they need to pay the new taxes. Or so it seems. They're being threatened by taxes, which doesn't make any sense. But during one night, masked riders burn their barn, and one of them loses a precision dice. Kane recognizes this object, follows the corporate into town, and confronts him. After Kane has been shot dead, all the farmers are ready to sell out. Release date August 24th, 1995. Running time 88 minutes. Country United States and language English. The hero decides he must not let that happen, hence, he takes the dead farmer's place in the tournament and he tells the farmers to bet all their money on him. In order to prevent him from being successful, his friend's murderer, the German speaking von Trotta, Marc Singer, is hired. Hi. Sorry about that. The owner just showed up. But the bad guys leave nothing to chance, and they also take Mary Parker as hostage. Charlegrand manages to cause enough confusion to disappear between two fights so that he can free Mary and force Colonel Jones, James Brolin, to spill the beans. The alleged new taxes turned out to be a hoax, but the farmer's savings are on Charlegrand, and so they need him to win the tournament. All right. The French Foreign Legion had been founded in 1831, 1 year after the Grand Écossais had been officially dissolved. Right from the beginning, many German-speaking men joined the forces, often hiding behind false names. In 1861, Napoleon III used the Foreign Legion for the French intervention in Mexico, which they lost due to rain. It lasted until 1867. At that time, Charles Lecoeur had already created and established French boxing as a blend of Savate and English boxing. Hitherto, Savateurs had used their hands mainly to block kicks or defense with sticks, cane de combat. At the same time, one of Lecoeur's students was former Army instructor Joseph Charlemont. Against this background, it is imaginable a Savateur like Joseph Charlegrand could have served in Mexico, and that he might have met a German-speaking legionnaire during this time, though the slow speed of communications and travel in 1865, as well as the lack of crossover in combat sports of the time, make the idea of international martial arts contests in the wilds of the U.S. West highly unlikely. So the final battle with von Trotta can't be postponed, even though Charlegrand has been shot in the course of action. J.R. Taylor of Entertainment Weekly gave it a grade C+. The ActionElite.com rated the film 3.5 out of 5, praising action directed by Isaac Florentine. So there are two reasons to like this somewhat mediocre film. Some of the kickboxing is okay. The fight scenes are pretty gory and violent, and then you've got people standing up for their private property rights even without a sheriff around. That was pretty impressive. The result is death, of course, but Olivier Gruner is invincible. Nothing can stop him, not even a bullet or a knife. All right. It gets a okay 5.3 out of 10. IMDb 960 reviews. Pretty obscure movie, I guess. 1865, a young French officer traveling the U.S. in search of the murderer of his best friend gets involved in a struggle between four poor farmers and a rich landowner. To help the farmers, he offers them his Savate French kickboxing skills. This is straight to video, this one, and 1995 rated R, an hour and 32 minutes. Man, Ashley Laurence is extremely good looking in this one. No wonder Olivier Gruner was having trouble keeping custody of the eyes. All right. Here's a much more flattering review from Fella Shibi. The reasons not to like this film, it plays like a TV movie, and it's definitely not one of those so bad that it's good type movies, but it has its moment. For instance, when Ermey gets shot. So I guess I could give it a 3.5. But it's pretty tame stuff. No nudity, nothing going on other than the occasional blasphemy. All right. Here's a review from Fella Shibi, dated March 19th, 2016. Fella Shibi gives it an 8 out of 10. 90 martial arts film set in the Wild West. Directed by Isaac Florentine, the guy gave martial arts fans Boyka an Undisputed series. I first saw this in the late 90s on cable TV. Fans of martial arts can watch it once. Enough action to satisfy martial arts. The lead guy, Olivier Gruner, is a talented martial artist. The epic fly scene shouldn't be missed by anyone. Bad acting by Ashley Laurence, Hellraiser movies. Oh, I should put her in the in the description. James Brolin looks as if he doesn't know what he's doing. Some cool sun-soaked settings for Western fans. All right. Let's put Ashley Laurence in here. Ashley. There we go. One of the kickboxing fights looks like Marc Singer from the Canadian actor. One of his opponents. Oh, he was in V and the Beastmaster. The Beastmaster series, which I have not seen. Marc Singer goes up against some black dude who looks like Zeus from Big Time Wrestling. Is it? Is it the same guy? Oh, no. I don't know. I guess it's Eric Betts. So we did the review. More like this: Automatic TNT, Nemesis in Angeltown. I forgot to add the Jean-Claude Van Damme, More Like This, to my list last night. Release date March 1995 in Sweden, country of origin United States, language English, also known as The Fighter. Filming locations Santa Clarita, USA, on some ranch. Production companies FM Entertainment International NV and Mark Damon Productions MDP Worldwide. Runtime 1 hour 32 minutes. This is in color and the sound mix is ultra stereo. All right. That is Savate. It's pretty boring, but it does have its occasional moments. Like I mentioned, we want to see Ashley Laurence from the Hellraiser series get naked in this one. No such luck. And going down my list, I'm almost done with Footprints of God with Stephen K. Ray. I just finished the interview with the lamestream EWTN priest. So I'm working my way down the film series for that one. In between these next 3 movies, I'll be watching Footprints films until I get through it finally. I'm working my way to the bottom, so it won't interfere with my movie watching in coming weeks. It's Footprints of God with Stephen K. Ray, 2014. I'm still giving it 2 out of 5 stars. I think it's pretty bad. And it doesn't really represent the early Christians type of Catholicism. Although occasionally I do learn something from it. So it's not completely useless. And second is Magnum Force, 1973. Third is Nowhere to Run. And fourth is Martial Law 2 Undercover. So those are the next 3 movies coming down the pike. And in between those 3, I'll be watching Footprints. I'm ready for another nappy poo. And then Footprints and hopefully Magnum Force tonight. We'll see how that goes. Laters.